Let's dive into Annie's training so we can stay consistent at home. Whenever she's doing things that we want to keep seeing, whether that's being calm and she's seeing distractions, or she's following our commands, we want to reinforce and reward with praise, petting, and treats. And then whenever she's doing things that we want to say, saying she's having an ill reaction to seeing a person or another animal, we're going to follow through with the training equipment. And we're still going to reinforce and reward while this is happening. So with Annie, since she is reactive to seeing people and animals, we're going to use a little bit of both. So if she becomes a little bit too much to handle, we're going to follow through with the training equipment. But a lot of this is going to be reinforced and rewarding for doing behaviors that we want to keep seeing and keeping her from reacting so we can decrease this reactivity behavior. So it's going to be a long process with Annie since she is reactive. Reactive dogs aren't just a one-day fix, but she's absolutely, we can work towards having less reactions whenever she sees said distracting things. So let's dive into Annie's training equipment. So whenever we're walking her out on a leash, she is going to be on her prong collar. So anytime the leash is on, she is going to have this prong collar on. How we take this on and off is we're going to secure one of the links and push the other one through like so. To put it back together, we're going to pinch this prong and put it through the holes of the other prong. And then the leash is going to attach to the D-ring that swivels. Then whenever she's wearing this, how we use it, say she is in the heel command and she starts to pull ahead or does something that we don't want to see whenever we're walking with her, we're going to say no to mark the incorrect behavior, follow through with a pop of the leash, and then reminder heel. So no, pop, heel. And then with her remote collar, she's going to wear this first thing in the morning. It's going to be the last thing that we take off at night. How we turn this on and off is the red dots. We're going to touch those together. That green light, it means it's on, charged, and ready to go. For the remote on and off button on the back, we're going to push and hold until the screen lights up. You're going to see level 10 appear on the screen. This is Annie's working level as of right now. And how we use the remote collar. Say she's in the heel again, which is that loose leash walking on the left side. Say she starts to pull ahead or does something that we don't want to see. We're going to say no to mark the incorrect behavior. Follow through with the black S button, heel, no, button, heel. Then depending on the level of distraction that we have with Annie, we may use one of these, we may use both of these. It just depends on the situation we are in with Annie. So say we're out with Annie and she does see a big distracting thing like another dog. What we're going to do is we're going to start rewarding her and start reinforcing seeing said distracting thing and getting rewarded for not reacting. And then say she does react. No big deal. In the beginning, we're going to change directions until we can get her comfortable with getting closer and closer to these said items that make her have a reaction. So that way we're not just trudging on through it, rather we're putting some positive with seeing these things and not ramping her up to where we can't control her. So now that we've gone over her equipment, let's dive into her commands. We have the heel command that we've already gone over. So about 80 to 90% of our walks should be in the heel command. The other 10 to 20% we can give her the release word free. Free means she's not in any set command, which means she can go do her business, do her own thing, or we're going to follow her rather than her following us. And even though she's in a free, that doesn't mean she can make any inappropriate decisions like jumping up on us or reacting to seeing things out and about. Now we have sit. Sit means stay is implied, so this is really good for those door manners. She really liked to bolt through doors when she first got here, so rather than bolting through doors, we have her sit. That means stay. So as we're opening the door, if she gets up to bolt through the door, we're going to follow through with the training equipment, get her back in, and practice it until she can do it while the door is open until we tell her free, or you can heel through the door with her. Just depends on the situation that we are in. So say she does get up, makes a mistake, we're going to follow through training equipment, get her back into position, do it again until she gets it right so we can set those same boundaries that we have here at the facility for her at home. Now we have down. Down also means stay is implied. So with all of her stay commands, whether it's place down or sit, we're never going to call her from a distance. So we're never going to walk 10 feet away from her and then call her to us, because then she'll get rewarded for coming to us and not staying in that stay command, which can lead to her breaking these commands a little bit more frequently. So whenever she's in a down, we can do a distraction, whatever we're doing. We're always going to go back to Annie and release her from where she's at. And when we reward the down, we're going to go as low to the ground as possible, whether that's on the floor or we're feeding her out of the hand. We don't want her to try to get up to get the treats and break the down. Now we have place. Place is a boundary stay, ideally on an elevated bed. This one's really good for whenever you have guests coming over or when you're eating dinner so she isn't underneath of your feet. How we practice this one is we're going to have the leash on in the house for this one so we can guide her back to the place bed if we need to, and especially when you first have guests or big things happening at the house, so we can guide her back if we need to. So she's going to be on her place bed, just like with down and sit. We're not going to call her from a distance. If we're done with the command, we're going to walk back to her and release her from the bed. So we can do a distraction, have people come over. Once she's nice and calm, we can release her from the place bed and she can enjoy and be around everybody. Then we're rewarding this one. We're going to reward on the place bed so she knows where that positive zone is. But say you're practicing it with her and people come over and she breaks her place bed and goes over to the people. What we're going to do is take the leash, guide her back over to the place bed, and try it again until she gets it right, just like with door manners. So that way she understands that even though we're at home, I still have to stay on my place bed when big things are happening. Now we have come when called. When practicing this one, I would suggest a 30 to 50 foot leash. So that way if she does get extra distracted, paying attention to something else, we can reel her back into us if we need to. And then also with this one, we want to let her go get distracted doing her own thing because ideally that's going to be what she's doing whenever we need her to come back to us. So we're going to practice for situations that we need to be prepared for. So let her go get distracted doing her own thing. Whenever we call her to us, we're going to say, come, nice, loud, and firm, praising her as she's coming to us, backing up just a little bit to invite her into our space, and then we can have her sit and then give her the reward. Since we have her sit, she has to wait until we tell her free to go back off and venture or do whatever she was doing. But say she does make a mistake out there, we ask her to come into our space and she's too distracted and doesn't pay attention to us. What we're going to do is say no to mark the incorrect behavior of not coming to us, follow through with one of these or both of these, call her again, and then we're going to go right back into praising because just because she made a mistake out there doesn't mean we're not going to be the positive fun zone. So she's never going to make a mistake out here and then come back to us and then we give her a correction with the prong collar or the remote collar because we're always going to be the positive. Now we have leave it. Leave it just means don't grab that. So whenever we're practicing this one, I would start out with dog safe foods and have the leash and prong on. So that way we can guide her into different scenarios if we need to. You're going to toss something on the ground, say leave it. If she does, great. If not, we're going to follow through with the training equipment, get her into a different scenario, and try it again until she can get it right. Then you can tell her free and okay, just like I do in the video, or you can never give her the option to pick something up off the floor. So that way she never thinks it's okay if something drops on the floors that it is hers, but that's completely up to you and your standards with Annie. But that is all of Annie's training equipment and command. So with Annie, it's going to be a little bit different because she's a little reactive with dogs and people, but we're going to reinforce and reward not having those reactions and trying to stop those reactions from happening by rewarding and praising her for not reacting when she sees stuff. But if she does, we're going to follow through the training equipment and kind of decrease those reactions that she's having so we can enjoy walks and going places with her without her losing her mind at seeing things. But we're going to have fun, stay consistent, and now we're going to watch Annie do her commands out and about. Sit. Yes. Good little girl. Freeze. Come. Good girl. Sit. Yes. I know, that leash is under your butt. Freeze.
Down. Good girl. Good job. Down. Good. Down, Annie. Down. Good. Down. Good. Down. Good. Down. Free. Good girl, Annie. Leave it. Good girl. Free. Okay. Nice. Good job. Free. Leave it. Good girl. No, leave it. Free. Okay. Good job. Free. Leave it. Good job. Free. Okay. There you go. Good job. Yeah. Place. Place. Girl. Place. Free.
Let's dive into the other features of the remote. Now that we know how to turn it on, let's go over how to turn it off and all of the other buttons on the remote. So we're going to turn it off by pressing these red dots together. That red light means the color itself is off. And then the on and off button on the back of the remote, we're going to push and hold until the screen goes blank. I'm going to go ahead and turn it back on. We're going to go over the buttons on the side of the remote. So we've already gone over the black S button a little bit, and I know I forgot to mention that in the beginning of the video, but the black S button stands for whatever number is on the screen. So level 10 is Annie's working level, so that means the black S button is level 10. Say we're using level 10 and she's either having too much of a reaction to it or she's not reacting to it at all. What we can do to change this is we're going to hold down on the dial until you see that 1D at the top of the screen flashing, and then we can rotate this to whatever number works for Annie. Sometimes in higher stress level situations, she needs a higher level, but for the most part, level 10 works in just about any situation that we are in, but we can always change it if we do become into a higher stress situation and we need to communicate with her. So what I'm going to do is hold down on the dial to lock it in place, so that way when we put it in our pocket, we're not accidentally changing it. Now on the other side, we have a T button. This is a vibrate feature. We like to use this to make sure the collar and remote are on and ready to go, but sometimes I like to do it to break Annie's focus. Whenever she's focused in on something, whether that be a person or a dog, it gets her attention to break the focus so she's not so dedicated to wanting to go after whatever is in front of her. So that's something that you can use as a little warning or to get her attention to say, hey, I need you to stop staring at something. Now, right underneath the black S button, we have a red S button. This is a boost feature. So she is at level 10 right now, but if I click the red S button, it is going to jump to level 35. So this is a boost feature that we can use if Annie is doing something dangerous. Say she gets loose and she's chasing after something, she's not going to be able to feel level 10 because level 10 is for those neutral, not much is going on situations. And whenever she's running after something, she is going to be up here. So we have an instant way to match her because level 10 only reaches about here. So we have an instant way to communicate with her, say she is doing something dangerous and we need to communicate with her. Now on the back of the remote, we have an M/C button. This stands for momentary or continuous. In the beginning of Annie's training, we started out at continuous at a very low level to introduce the remote in a very positive way. Then we switch over to momentary, which you're going to see that M. That means it is on momentary, so no matter how long we click this, it is only going to last as long as that red flash. So as long as you hold it, it is only going to do it for that quick second. So that way we're not accidentally holding it down and stemming her for way too long. Then the on and off button also works as a flashlight feature. So rather than holding it to turn it on and off, we're going to press it. Pressing it once is a flashing flashlight. Second time solid. Third time turns off the flashlight. Then right underneath the on and off button is the charging port for the remote. Then in between the prongs of the collar is the other charging port. It comes with a dual charger and it stays charged for about 2 days if she wears it for 12 to 14 hour days. So if you charge it every other day, you should be good. And then at the bottom of the box, we also have the manual. So if you're having any issues and you just want to read over anything else, like the vibrate feature is also a tone feature if that's something that you want to switch over for Annie. It also comes with longer prongs. So if you notice that her prongs aren't making good contact, she actually does have really thick hair, which these prongs have been doing great at. But if you notice that you're having problems, they do come with longer prongs and a tool to take it off. You are more than welcome to switch it over and make sure that those prongs are making good contact. Then if you have any issues with the remote or collar, there is a 2-year warranty. So if you contact the company and let them know what's going on, hopefully they can send you over something new or talk about what's going on. Both of these are waterproof, so if she gets wet, not too big of a deal. But if she's going to stay wet for an extended period of time, I definitely recommend rotating her collar so it's not rubbing and irritating one part of her neck a little bit too much. But just like in the beginning, that is everything for the remote collar. We're going to have fun, stay consistent, and that's everything.